Hey guys, and welcome to Tnashi's Movie Corner. So, I got done seeing the Magnificent Seven, which is a remake of the 1960s classic, which is a adaptation, if you will, of Seven Samurai, which came out in 1954, which also spun off with an anime at some point, which I've also seen. And the original was directed by Akira Kurosawa and written by him. So, just FYI, just to put that out there. I'm just putting it out there. So, anyway, in this movie, you have 7 gunmen in the Old West who gradually come together to help a poor village against savage thieves. This is starring Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt, Ethan Hawke, Vincent D'Onofrio, sorry if I pronounce these wrong, but Byung-Hun Lee, Manuel Garcia Rolfo, right? Rolfo, I think, Martin Sinsmeyer, Halle Bennett, and Peter Sarsgaard. And there's some others too, but we got the main cast out of the way. Anyway, so I actually haven't seen the original Magnificent Seven, but I have seen Seven Samurai, and I've also seen the anime, and the anime is trippy. I'm just telling y'all now. But it does contain the elements, but that's off point. Anyway, back on point. So I know the basis story of it, and I'm actually a fan of Westerns. There's quite a few Westerns that I like. They don't, it's hard apparently to do good Westerns nowadays. I mean, the remake for True Grit was definitely pretty good. I think Jane Got a Gun, which came out earlier this year, I thought that was decent. But a 310 to Yuma was a good remake. But I was curious about this, and having Denzel always brings his A game, and to be honest, the entire cast did for this one. I thought the acting was brilliant. I thought the acting was really well done. You have Denzel as the lead, and he really does a good job of carrying the film. He does a good job of bringing you in, and he alludes to history with our villain, who's played by Peter Sarsgaard. He alludes to the history between them, and so you're on board with him from the start, which is good. That's good to have. Chris Pratt is basically Chris Pratt in this movie, if I'm being honest. But I did enjoy his performance. When we're going, he brings a humor, and he's got some good action things. He's kind of promoted billed as being number 2 to Denzel, and I guess technically he is, but I think he did a good performance. Ethan Hawke and Byung-Hun Lee, they worked really well together. Their characters are connected, and the way they feed off each other, you can see the relationship they have. Like, you buy into that. It convinces you that they are friends, brothers, even, if you want to say. Vincent D'Onofrio was kind of undersold to me a little bit. Again, acting good. It was great, even, but I did feel like he was kind of underplayed a little bit, so that I would have preferred more. Manuel did a good job, again, limited, and Martin did a good job for the screen time he had. So that's the thing about having 7 different kind of main characters, or centered characters, is you have to have enough time to go between them, and I do think they all got at least a moment to shine, so I really appreciate that. But at the same time, you lose some of the character development, so that's where some issues for me lie a little bit, as some characters get a little shortchanged. But overall, I thought the acting was really good. Again, Halle Bennett was surprisingly good. I mean, not to diss her, just she didn't have to be. So I appreciate that she was. I appreciate that seems like these actors and actresses like gave their all to it, and that's cool. Because for me, this could have been simply a fun movie, and it had a little bit more to it because of that. It does play on some of the tropes that you see in westerns, so it pulls at that for you with the music and kind of the introduction of some characters, some of the shots that were taken. You have the actual shootouts themselves and stuff like that. So I thought that was all really well done, and I like that. I knew that Antoine Fuqua was a big fan of the westerns as a genre and of the original movie, so that's good to see. But the humor also worked well. So we had good acting, we had good humor, we had good action. It had a good feel to it. It felt like the Western it should be. My problem really comes down to a lack of character development for some of them. I mentioned before that you have Denzel's character, his kind of past and the connection to our villain is kind of alluded to, but it just kind of comes out of nowhere really at a point in the movie, and I felt like they should have built that more than they did. There's also some couple anticlimactic points that I won't get into, but there's some things that left a little to be desired in that regard. But again, being a fan of westerns, I really enjoyed this. It had its issues, and I think a lot of people look at this movie as purely a fun movie, and that's fair. There was definitely a lot of fun to it, but I just appreciate everything that Antoine really went for, and kind of paying homage to the classic westerns, if you will, keeping a lot of the elements of the original story. But I did notice a few differences here or there that I can't really get into, but there were a few little differences there. So at the end of it, I enjoyed this film. I did. Giving it a rating 1 through 10, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. It's not quite a 10, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close to it. So, but that's what I thought about it. What did you guys think about it? Hopefully you enjoyed this vid. Click that like button, share, subscribe to my channel, and watch my other vids. I do appreciate it. And until next time, peace.